The Ford Flex has been in the United States since 2009, and originally it was built to replace Ford's then aging and dated Ford Freestar minivan. Now, 2013 marks the first year of a full array of updates for the Flex, and we're going to go over all those in detail. Now, the Flex has been somewhat of a slow seller for Ford. The reason for that slow selling nature is actually Ford's own Explorer, which has been stealing sales from this vehicle ever since it was introduced in 2011. But you know, if you can get over or get past the rather unconventional look of the Flex, I actually think it's a better family crossover than Ford's own Explorer. So let me show you why. Now, Ford's Flex has always been one uniquely styled vehicle. When the vehicle was first introduced in 2009, it raised a lot of eyebrows just because, you know, it's so different. A lot of comparisons that people often made is it was kind of like that Scion XB that took some Miracle-Gro and grew up. Now, I actually personally like the styling of the vehicle. It's very functional to, you know, the utility on the inside. You know, a big box. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of headroom. It's a very wide vehicle, and it actually, for my taste, makes it a more practical vehicle than Ford's own Explorer in terms of, you know, space on the inside. Now, 2013 marks the first full year of updates. The Flex is available in 3 trims. There's the base SE, the mid-level SEL, and then the top-of-the-line Limited. Last year there was a titanium model, but there's no more titanium. Instead, Ford offers a titanium appearance package that's available on the SEL and the Limited. This one has the titanium appearance package. It adds those 20-inch black finish wheels, the different grille in the front, the different badging, the blacked out side mirrors and roof. You also have that Flex writing on the front. It kind of just reminds me of a Range Rover, kind of the way the Explorer Sport reminds me of. And I actually like the design of this vehicle more than the Explorer Sport that I showed you guys, but looks are all about subjectiveness here. Now, the Flex is available in 2 engines. Both engines were updated for 2013. There's the base 3.5 liter, which now makes 285 horsepower, and then of course there's this one, the 3.5 EcoBoost V6, which makes 365, up 10 horses from last year. You can only get the EcoBoost V6 on the Limited models, and they only come with all-wheel drive. If you want an SEL or an SE to save a little bit of money, you're gonna have to go with the base 3.5, which has decent power. And Flexes can get pretty expensive. This one tops out at about $50,000. They can hit 51 with everything, but they do have an interior that kind of rivals a luxury SUV, so let's take a look. Now, the Flex Limited comes standard with Ford's Smart Key Access system. You can basically, you know, unlock the doors and start the vehicle with just the key. Here's the key for the vehicle. It's a very large key fob, so this is not gonna fit in your pocket very well if you have tight pants. To lock the doors, come here and run your finger there, it'll lock the doors. To unlock the doors, just touch right there and the doors unlock. You can also see Ford's new keyless entry keypad on the pillar. Now, coming to the interior, this is the titanium appearance package, so it adds those light colored contrasting seats. I really like the seats. They kind of look very comfortable. They remind me of a living room couch, or not a living room chair. Now, stepping inside, you have the perfect step-in height with this vehicle, even better step-in height than Ford's own Explorer. And I've always liked the interior of the Flex. It's always been a really nice upscale interior design. It's been significantly updated for 2013. Now, to start the vehicle, you can see you have a new instrument panel and a new center stack with, of course, Ford's My Ford Touch. To start the vehicle, just put your foot on the brake and push the the button to start the engine. You can see this one is a Limited 303A. That's the highest equipment group, so it adds this power tilt and telescoping steering column. Luxury SUV stuff here. The instrument panel, you can see, has been completely updated with, you know, the LCD tachometer. I kind of like the old instrument panel more. I really like the new center stack here. Of course, you have the same touch sensitive buttons in the Explorer, but I like the design of this interior center stack more than the Explorer. The materials are all really nice, same like the Explorer. Soft touch dash panels, even soft touch right here. This faux carbon fiber looking trim is on the titanium appearance package. Coming to the glove box, it is damped and it's somewhat on the small side, but it gives you decent space. Coming to the door panel right here, it is soft touch with wrapped in leather right here where your elbows are going to rest, and it's soft touch right here. It could be a little bit softer. The Explorer has actually better door panel materials than the Flex. The mirrors actually are power fold unfold, which seems a little unnecessary in this type of vehicle. I kind of think that it's more necessary in like an F-150, which it has, but I don't think the Flex particularly needs it. The center stack here is pretty minimal in terms of buttons. You have a 6-speed automatic transmission with a sport mode. This is new for 13. You couldn't get that a sport mode before, and it has paddle shifters on this EcoBoost model. Or in the previous Flexes, if you didn't have the EcoBoost, it just had D and L. It didn't have a manual mode. Coming to the center stack here, it's pretty large. It's got your, you know, your controls or your inputs for your auxiliary, your USB, and your video jacks, whatnot. The touch-sensitive buttons are a big annoyance of mine, but they work fairly well. Ford has really sped up the response time whenever you push a button or whenever you tap a button. The steering wheel is a new steering wheel. It comes right off of the Taurus and the Explorer. Ford's pretty much just, you know, giving it to all of their vehicles. And I really like the power tilt telescoping function. This one also happens to have the panoramic Vista roof, which actually includes 2 roof panels all the way to the 3rd row to help brighten up an otherwise large cabin. Coming to the 2nd row of the Flex, it's large. It actually has more space than the Explorer, and the materials here have pretty much carried through. Same soft touch leather, soft touch right there. You have pretty great storage in the vehicle. Now the legroom in the 2nd row is just unbelievable. I mean, this is the ultimate family road trip vehicle, and you have your separate climate controls here. You have a pull-out cup holder right there with a little bit of storage. The only thing that's pretty much missing is just, you know, your DVD entertainment system. You can get a 60-40 split right here, which actually reduces the cabin capacity to 6 passengers, but you can actually get a mini fridge that goes in between the seats. This one doesn't have it, as you can see, but this one's the 7-passenger seating. Now, to get to the 3rd row, it's pretty simple. The Explorer doesn't even have this feature. All you have to do is find this little button right here, push that button, and the seat automatically folds forward for you. It's only an automatic fold forward. It doesn't fold back for you You have to do that manually, but it's a pretty simple mechanism. Now, coming to the 3rd row of the Flex, it's actually not bad. I would say it has a little bit more space than the Explorer, but the materials here are hard plastic, but you do get a little bit of storage right there. It's a little bit on the cheaper side right here. The headrests are pretty large as well. They give you a nice headrest, and you can see here the Vista roof really adds nice light back here, so it doesn't make the 3rd row seating as claustrophobic as some other SUVs. Now, being this is a $51,000 SUV, it has a power tailgate, standard equipment on the 303A. And one of the features that Explorer didn't have that the Flex has here, which you can get on the Explorer, is that auto-folding 3rd row. Basically, to start, you have to pull on the strap here, and it's really simple. Just tap the stow button right here. Just tap it once, you don't even have to hold it. Both seats will automatically fold down. You can set it to either do the left or the right, or you can do both. It's your choice. And it's just a really simple and easy mechanism. I highly recommend it to fold the seats back. Just push normal. The seats automatically fold back up. And it also has a tailgate function. So you can sit back here. You can just push the little tailgate button, and the seats will kind of just fold back for you. So you can sit back here and enjoy sitting at the tailgate of your vehicle. Now, to close the trunk lid, just push this button right here, and the tailgate will fold for you. And then, of course, under the hood, you'll find Ford's familiar 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6. This engine is only available on the Limited with all-wheel drive. Makes 10 more horsepower than last year, 365 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque. Moves this big-ass SUV to 60 in 6.5 seconds, roughly, so it's pretty quick. Let's take a look at how it drives with the 6-speed automatic. Now, quite frankly, what could possibly be the most interesting family crossover on the market. Let's take a look at how it drives. Now, the red lights that you see glowing on the window or on the windshield when the engine starts is actually the forward collision warning. I'd like to show you guys how it works, but honestly, I'm too scared to actually let myself get really close up on a car. It's supposed to work when you're not paying attention and you just aren't hitting the brake when there's a car slowing in front of you. It's supposed to beep at you, but I'm not going to actually do it. Now, driving the Flex is actually quite similar to the Explorer, but two different things. Now, they're based on the same platform, but I've always noticed that the Flex feels much smaller and more nimble than the Explorer. The Explorer always just felt really massive to me. And it's funny because I think the Flex is actually bigger, but it feels smaller than Explorer. And it's more fun to drive than the Explorer. I like the way it drives. that 3.5 EcoBoost really has a lot of power. This thing is just unbelievably quick for how big it is. 0 to 60, I said, was about 6.6 seconds. Unbelievable for this big family crossover. Now, I am driving the limited model. It does come standard with some niceties like the blind spot information. This one also has the optional forward collision warning. It's got the active park assist. This is kind of like, you know, the technology that's in it kind of rivals, you know, what you'd buy in a luxury crossover SUVs. It even has more features than some luxury crossover SUVs offer. And, you know, at $50,000, it is expensive. Don't get me wrong, it's expensive. But Ford has done a good job of making the car feel expensive. And it actually drives very nice. The EcoBoost is really smooth. The ride is very nice. The seats are even more comfortable than the Explorer. This is the reason why I think this is a better family crossover than the Explorer, just because it has more space to spread about. It's quiet on the inside. The interior is high quality. It has a bunch of luxury tech features. It's just crazy to me that this vehicle doesn't sell better than the Explorer, because it's a better family car. It's just the unconventional styling. That's what really turns people off. So if you can get by that unconventional styling, I think you'll be really impressed and really happy that you actually bought a Flex over the Explorer. Now, this vehicle does have a little sport mode here with paddles behind the wheel, so you get it with the EcoBoost V6. It's kind of unnecessary in this car, but man, this thing is fast. And I guess it's pretty cool that it has it. I mean, they work just like every other Ford with paddle shifters. Pretty decent, decently quick whenever you flick the paddle to have it change gears. And it will sort of rev match on downshifts. I mean, decently well. It's not the best, but this isn't designed to be a sports sedan. It's a family crossover with a bit more of a sporting pretension. And it feels, okay, the way this vehicle drives kind of feels like the way the Explorer Sport drives, but every Flex feels like that. If you drive an Explorer that's not a Sport, it just feels a lot bigger and heavier than this vehicle does. And I just always love the way the Flex is driven. It deserves to have, you know, the bigger sales numbers that the Explorer has. But of course, the Explorer, I must admit, is still a pretty good looking car as well. So if you're in the market for a family crossover like this, you're obviously, besides the Explorer, you're going to be comparing it to the Pilot, the GMC Acadia, the Chevy Traverse. All those vehicles are really great choices. I personally think the Flex is my favorite just because it adds that uniqueness. I like to drive a vehicle that's unique. Maybe if that's your taste, you'll probably end up liking the Flex as well. Now, despite being on 20s, the turning radius is actually not bad. And you know, even though this is the same powertrain in the Explorer, I do notice that this vehicle does feel quicker. It might be lighter in terms of weight, which, by the way, the Flex is rated to tow 4,500 pounds, in case you guys are interested. So, if you guys can, like I said, get past the conventional styling, I think you'll really appreciate what the Flex has to offer. It's actually a better value than the Explorer in terms of price, because Ford actually offers better financing and better rebates on the Flex versus the Explorer. So if you're in the market for a family crossover, don't cross the Flex off your list at the very top, because it deserves to be. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you all later.